The release of Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl should be a big moment for me. After all, the original release is what got me back into Pokémon during college, a decision that led me to being the Pokémon fan I am today. They had their problems, sure, but the world of Sinnoh and the jump in quality from the Game Boy was enough that I got sucked back in. And that was eventually doubly rewarded with the Gen 5 games. So these remakes by ILCA should be a trip down memory lane, right? A kind of victory lap to show how far I've come as a fan of the series and someone known for their analyses of said franchise. And yet, it's not. To be quite frank, after about 12 hours of playtime, I had an epiphany. I was bored. Why should I bother trying to beat the game and see the new post-game content if the main game felt like a slog through all too familiar territory? Shining Pearl, the version I played, is fundamentally fine. There's nothing broken about it. It looks good enough for the style it's trying to achieve. The musical remixes are pleasant to listen to. The battle system is faster, and HMs, as has been the case for a while now, have been replaced to make exploration easier. It is exactly what's expected of a Pokémon remake. But that's also what makes it feel like a bore to me. I have played every generation of Pokémon by this point, with recent entries requiring me to comb every nook and cranny for possible guides. And yet, with everything that came before, there felt like there was some hook to keep me engaged. It wasn't just some endgame aspect that acted as a carrot. There were improvements or differences spread throughout. Shining Pearl kind of has that with the changes made to the Underground, Super Contest, and even eventually allowing Pokemon to follow behind. But these are blips, minor shifts that barely affect the overall game. It's not like the Gen 3 remakes that added new Mega Evolutions, a new art style, and an epilogue that changed the way I looked at different Pokemon versions. Even the Let's Go games offered something different despite how simplified it all was. There's nothing like that for me in Shining Pearl. And it's sad because I feel like I was a bit of a defender of these titles. When the art style for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was first revealed, I didn't mind the decision. It felt like a fun throwback to the DS era, and the improved models during battle felt like a decent compromise for those wanting more. But in implementation, it falls flat. Close-ups are often utilized, but the characters never emote. Instead, the facial features are almost literally plastered on characters, making any of these moments ring hollow. There's also the odd effect of zooming in on some trainer encounters only to quickly flash back to a wide view before actually starting the battle. It throws me off every time, and the decision frankly baffles me. Both would be simple to shrug off if there was something to grasp onto, but instead I'm reminded around every corner that, essentially, this is the exact same game as it was before. Ultimately, the remakes feel pointless. That is, if you've played them before. I can't speak for all newcomers, but the Switch does offer an easier way to experience Sinnoh, and there are some absolute highlights as the journey goes on. It still has my favorite trainer battle theme in the entire series. I highly recommend it if you missed playing Gen 4 before. But for everyone else, skip it, especially when there's something with far more possibility on the horizon. And it's this aspect that makes me suspect that I wasn't the only one bored with this remake. This is the first time Game Freak isn't handling the job themselves. Instead, their focus is on Pokémon Legends Arceus, a game set in a past version of Sinnoh with references to those characters and story beats while still doing something different and also introducing brand new Pokémon. It's essentially doing what past remakes have done, except this entry could mark a true turning point in the series. I love the idea of Legends. Sure, it's not a fully open world and is instead a series of open areas, but that's still a push forward for the series. The trainer is involved more than ever as they dodge and battle from enemy attacks while still commanding their Pokémon. It's something that really demonstrates the danger of Pokémon after decades of tall grass warnings. If Legends is a hit, I could absolutely see this as the future of the series. Say what you will of Game Freak, they can be interminably slow to catch up to the rest of the industry at times, but they do progress despite what some may say. One only has to look at Sword and Shield's wild areas as an example. It provided a proof of concept. There might not have been much to do there in the base game, but it was expanded upon in its DLC and became the sole method of exploration in both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. Legends feels like the next logical step. Maybe that's why it's coming out so soon after Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, something I puzzled over for quite some time, as a yearly release schedule would give Legends more time to really shine. But with it coming by the end of January, that's just long enough for newcomers to learn the references that are sure to be there, while ensuring that returning fans won't have to wait an entire year for something new. But as for these Gen 4 remakes, I think this will be the first mainline Pokemon game I won't beat in a very long time. I just don't see a point when there's so much else to enjoy this year while biding my time for Legends. At the very least, these games have taught me exactly what I enjoyed about past remakes. None of them were exactly the same. They evolved, changed, brought something new that made them worth replaying whether I enjoyed the differences or not. If Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are the benchmark of future Pokemon remakes, then not even my favorite generation, Black and White, could get me invested. What are your thoughts though? Are you enjoying the remakes, or are they missing something for you too? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, consider checking out our Patreon over at patreon.com/dvgaming. Of course, we appreciate all your support, whether it's just hitting the like button, subscribing to Good Vibes Gaming, or ringing the bell. Until next time, bye!